So hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video. So in this video we are working on the install of electronics. Obviously this thing still has to get repainted on the inside and dusted, but I can't do that quite yet because I still have to repaint the gold because it's still blue on that side. And yeah, first of all, I'm very happy I got all of the crap off with on here. You saw that in the previous video of me repainting this thing, but I'm happy how it turned out. So looks really nice, happy. And next thing to do is to get the electronics installed. So I mean, obviously with all the things that I got in here over the year and stuff like that, this thing obviously lost quite a bit of space in here. So yeah, I do have to do quite a bit of thinking what to do, but first thing to do really is get some cables run since the surfaces are all done. So first thing to do, I don't have any connectors currently, but we'll probably have like a back plate here that has carbon look on it, will be glued in there, and then we have typically our wires going through that piece of sheathing right there that's installed by Sebart. And yeah, first of all, before anything can get installed in the plane, we have to get everything done up nicely again. So we have to get this vacuum cleaned and all of that, so it looks good again. But anyway, so something we can start with though is the wiring. So I guess I could just get started with doing up my harnesses, because I do that outside of the plane mainly anyways. So we've gotten our harnesses mainly wrapped up here, all of our wire. I'll be reusing all of this. So I just kind of have to get this out and see which one fits and which one is long enough to go to all of the several spots. So first thing I'll be doing is trying to get this mess here organized. So yeah, that's the first thing I'll be doing. So let me go ahead and do that. Now, obviously, all of the painting stuff and polishing stuff with which I got the crap off is still laying around. But I'll make this bench free because the Avanti XL I've been experimenting a bit with it, but the Avanti XL will only be started as soon as this thing is finished. So yeah, I can make that bench free and get the wiring all sorted out. So let's get that done. Did some organizing. I don't know if it looks for you like organizing, but for me it is. So these are all the little bits that go underneath the board usually and just connect modules. These are all the wires coming from the wing. This is a wire that's supposed to be for the mid-light under there. So everything kind of has its spot. So these are the wing wires. I already did the harnesses up for the back wires. So these are the rear wires. I did some soldering up already. So this is obviously for the rudder with the light in the rudder, and our two connectors for the elevator. So next thing to do is I have to get those mounted in the back here. So I'll get that done, and as soon as we paint the inside, I'll just bundle everything up back in there. Yeah, and I'll take this pipe out, this Teflon thingy, this thing, because it's fairly heavy, and if I just put some snake skin around the wires and let them go through the middle, that will be good enough, and they will hold the wires down well enough. So that's our plan. I somehow have to get my hands all in here and get everything done. I'm pretty sure the flex connector will be like somewhere here. That's where I have it on the rudder, or no, I don't. It's gonna be probably right there. So up, down in this hole. So we'll see. Don't quite know yet, but yeah, let's get that organized. Let's do that. Connectors in. This is just simply CD8 on. I did put some shrink tubing over the wires. I hope you can see it. I have to get like a light so you can see things better in my videos, but I hope you can see it. It's right there. There's some shrink tube over the wires. Maybe you can see it up there, and that's just to protect it through going next to this carbon spar a bit. And yeah, so the rudder will most likely be on permanently. I won't be taking this off very often, because this is like the most useless thing to take off, I noticed for the year of flying it last year, so I don't mind this not looking all too good. But here we'll get some balsa cut up where the two slots where the two connectors will be sitting in, that will be glued in from the back, and there will be some carbon vinyl over it, and that will be hard mounted, or we can just hard mount it in those slots that where they used to be in. The only issue is it kind of like interferes with the wood structure, and I already broke it, so I might just reuse that since it is broken already anyways, and this will look good. So let's get that done. Guys, these don't really look too pretty, but I don't really mind, honestly. You won't see those really ever, because it's as soon as I get out, elevators on, screw in, you won't see them ever on the wing. I'll probably do it a bit up a bit nicer, because we've gotten the big connector there. And yeah, I really hate working in there. I got this thing down and I sat on the stool, and this was on my lap and it was turned around so I could get in there and get everything. I ran everything up around this side, got zip tied up, CA to the wood, and I got the wire CA to the top there, the bare wire, so it's protected. Then I got everything down here, goes into a thin layer of shrink tubing onto some snake skin, and at the end piece where the shrink tubing goes to the snake skin, I put a too big of a piece of shrink tubing. I could have used the same piece that I used here, which is a smaller one. So this goes up until about here. Right there, all of the wires join together into another piece of snake skin. I hope I can get it tucked into one piece, and that will from here on go until under here, and like will probably stop somewhere right there. So that's the plan. Next thing I have to get done is get this all routed forward. So let's get that done now. So guys, a little tip I want to give you is, as soon as you cut the wires, put a bit of CA on them so they stay together. And something I do when I have a big bundle, I put a bit of CA on them so they just stay together and they don't go crazy, and it's just easier to route them like this. And this ended up looking gorgeous, so I'll tuck this back in this section for now till we get this fuselage painted, because yeah, this ended up perfect. I have to join this wire in with the light wire here because they run over one channel, so that's good. And yeah, it looks beautiful, just the way I wanted it. Very nice, very clean. So the next thing I would usually do is something like getting the pipe installed and then getting the turbine installed, since I've gotten everything that's past here run up. But first of all, I have to get this thing painted and I have to get the inside painted, so that's a no-no currently. I could theoretically go ahead and get my wires here soldered up already, but I think I'll just wait until I got everything painted, until we get everything painted on the inside. So next step in this video is to get everything painted on the inside. So let's get masking off for that now. So guys, when painting the inside of an airplane, you always want to mask off every single bit where there could be paint leaking out here. I just took a bit of a sponge, cut it up, put it in there in the intakes, anywhere where there could be some paint going through, because I promise you it will, for example, on my MV339, I made the mistake I was the only part where I was spraying is up until here, and I forgot to mask off this little thing, and you would never think that up into the rudder there would be coming paint, but I had paint all around here, and I was fortunate to be able to remove it. But you always have to make sure to really close up every exit, so there's no possibility of anything going through. Like for example, the exit hole here for the turbine, and we'll also mask off these. So yeah, now that that's done, we'll go ahead and get it masked off. I think I'll get it done with the masking paper there that I have. The only reason why I don't use this is because I find it's kind of tough to work with, and the and the kitchen towel just works a lot better. But now let's get to masking everything else off. Let's do that. So guys, this is done. So this really doesn't take very long when masking off like this, because it's one huge sheet. You really just have to mask around this area, and then you just kind of wrap it around, and it doesn't look pretty. But why is it supposed to look pretty? It's just masking tape. So we'll get everything sprayed. These are the colors I'll use. Just got some new. This is the gray, and then we've gotten this granite effect thingy. So yeah, let's get to spraying. So guys, inside is all painted. There was a pain in the ass because my speckle paint, I dropped it and it kind of like fully sealed up, and it was a pain to get any speckles out of there, but we got it done. Really like the gray. It's a bit lighter than what it used to be the first time. And yeah, so next thing to do is most likely getting the rudder servo installed in that, but I still have to get that repainted in the other video, so yeah, we'll have to wait for that. So guys, everything on the inside is finally cured, and I'm really happy. The rudder is still not finished. And yeah, what we're going to continue on doing now is just getting the leads from the back there that we previously had done up, run and brought forward to this point. So let's get that done. Don't mind my finger right there. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead first of all, get the leads run there, and then we'll continue talking. So guys, everything's all down and glued with CA on those ribs up there, so everything is nice and snug. I didn't fixture this point right there yet because I have to have the wing wires that go in here, and I have to solder this wire to my one wire right here. So next thing to do is to get our two connectors, wing connectors, all soldered up. So let's get that done now. So guys, I got one connector finally done up, all soldered up, and yeah, this thing is a nightmare to do because these connectors are so small, the pins and everything. My soldering iron is pretty crappy, so it took me quite some time. I'll do the second one tomorrow, but we've gotten all of our leads in here for one wing, and put a piece of snake skin over top of there, and this goes from out there. The snake skin ends about right here where the middle is. As soon as we got all of this installed, I'll make up my leads for the wiring and everything, and then all of this will most likely go into two different separate pieces of snake skin or something like that right here. Right here, all of this will join into one thing, and yeah, happy for now. So next thing to do is getting the second one all done up, so let's get that done now. So guys, both sides are soldered up. I redid the snake skin on both sides and made it a bit longer so it would reach all the way, because before it only reached about until here. Now I can like put it along the wheel well, and it will go until here, so it just has a nicer joining point. And I thought I'll put all of the main servo cables into one piece of snakeskin, and the light cables and gear cables will be in one piece of snakeskin. So next thing to do anyways is to get the one side that goes into the fuselage hard mounted. I'll do that one first because I'm not quite sure if I want to do the wing side yet. If I want to do the wing side hard mounted, I think it'd be nice if it isn't hard mounted. I don't know why, because I think it'd be quite a bit of a challenge in this hole here to get it hard mounted properly, since it sits like kind of like in between the balsa and the plywood in here and the carbon, and it'd be kind of hard to get it properly done up. So I think for now we'll stick with getting the one side hard mounted in there, so it's going in the spot like we planned. So it's going right here. And yeah, let's get that hard mounted. So guys, I got everything I got these hard mounted in the sides, and they're just stayed in and they work perfectly. So next thing I'll be doing is I'll extend all of our lighting wires, because I originally had planned that I'll join all of them here and solder them together. But honestly, if I solder something to go wrong, and then I'll have to take out the turbine, the tank and everything, and that just would be a complete nightmare. So I'll just solder them in together here, because first of all I have more space here. This is quite cramped back there, and second of all, it's fairly easy access as soon as a soldering joint doesn't work anymore, or in case I solder something together wrong. So what I'll do now is I'll just solder on a bit more. So I'll solder on more length to these, and then we'll get all of this run forward. We'll also get this run forward. So what we'll do is we'll do 2 pieces of snakeskin. First piece will be only normal wiring, so all of the servo wires, and the second one will be gear wires and lighting wires. So let's get all of that done up now. So guys, very happy the way this turned out. It took me quite a few hours getting this figured out, because it was really mind-boggling quite a bit, because I was trying to get everything into one piece of snakeskin. But since this is pretty much the thickest that I could get this snakeskin, it was possible. Then was like trying to figure out what the best way to be to separate the wires. First I wanted to do all servo wires into one, all light wires and gear wires into one, but that didn't quite work out. So at the end I could have just had this one piece of snakeskin continue until in the front, but I had this one light wire there that had to join in anyways, and I just continued. Yeah, this one was all at the bottom. Then I got the 2 wing ones. I've gotten them on keepers. I sprayed these keepers the same way that the fuselage is sprayed. I did this a while ago, and yeah, they are nice, symmetrical, everything, where the snakeskin ends, and there's shrink tubing over there. We CA'd everything down, and then we've gotten 2 drops of CA front there, and these are our lighting wires going up. The resistor is glued to the side, same thing on the other side, and everything will essentially go until here, because this is where the main board ends, and all of our electronics will be there. We'll have the power box Mercury, electron controller, Unilight controller, and in the front we'll have like on-off switch, display, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, anyways, next thing to do. So we've gotten everything that includes servo wiring and stuff like that. All of the wiring basically that's supposed to be in front of here is done. So next thing to do is to start with the turbine install and turbine wiring. So we'll go ahead. First thing we'll be doing is installing the thrust pipe down the back. I'll turn the plane around so I can look down the back better. But that basically, I've changed it, screws into that rib right there, from like this with the L brackets. We've gotten all of our pipes down here. So where's my pipe? That's my pipe. So yeah, anyways, we'll be reusing that. It still has the good old epoxy stain on here. It's a bit demolished at the back already, but I don't really mind it. Just bend it straight. But yeah, everything's on there already. You can get it out. So guys, here, these are our nuts that are on here. I redid this a while ago from the first time we installed it, and they're all Loctited. These I got from some Savak servos. They're really nice equipment. And yeah, go into a bit more detail as soon as this thing is in the plane. But most simplest thing to do, first thing, is to just get those 2 screws screwed in and get this thing plotted in the back. So this will a fiery start, the first start, since there's quite a bit of dust in here. So yeah, it's a fairly small tailpipe in comparison to the XL small tailpipe. It's a nice one, and nice carbon bell mouth. And yeah, by any bell mouth, I like what I do. Some people split the difference by big bell mouths. This is not a very big bell mouth, so I always do from here to the back of the turbine 3 centimeters. That always works out perfectly, because you want to prevent backfiring. And how that happens is if there's a sealant, a vacuum appears here, and that happens by not enough air being able to pass over the turbine and through here. So if there's a vacuum happening here, then the backfires happen. So you just have to make sure to have enough air movement around the turbine into the thrust pipe. That's all you have to make sure. And 3.5 centimeters is what's recommended by the BF manual, and that's what I use, and I really like it like that. I never had backfiring issues like that, so that's what we're going with. So let's get that installed into the plane now. So guys, this is a quick shot of the tailpipe installed. Like this, it's sitting nice in center. All the holes are drilled out already. It's quite a nightmare getting in there, but I found this is the best way to mount the pipe in the Avantis. So I mount them like that, and yeah, I really like mounting them like that, mounting the pipe like that, because this is the easiest way to access to the screws. Otherwise you have to like get right back behind that former and like do some weird stuff, and it's just no fun at all. So we've gotten the seam of the pipe to the top because we're going to be ordering a power box smoke pump for this airplane that will be sitting right next to our fuel pump for this airplane. So yeah, this is from the back. Probably end up painting this black right here just so it looks nicer, and there's a fair amount of movement, so we have to get some shimming side to side and in height wise. So yeah, this pipe of this plane sticks out a little bit. I don't mind it. That's why it's bumped so much, because that's the 100 flights I've done, 100 plus flights I've done without the Revoc bags, carrying it through and out of my garage the whole time. So anyways, let's get that screwed in and all spaced out at the back. So let's do that. So guys, thrust pipe is all screwed in. 2 screws, 2 big head screws. I put the drop-offs A behind them so they won't go out. And then I did use a sponge and just touch this up with some gray paint. I put the stick of balsa up in there, and this thing won't go anywhere now, so very happy about that. So next thing to do is to get our I think we'll be putting smoke on this plane, so we'll have our fuel pump on this side, our smoke pump here, and our 2 valves right here. So next thing to do before we can install the turbine, we have to get all the electronics for the turbine installed. So the ECU will be sitting here on a carbon plate. That's how I did it the previous time, and that's how I'll do it again. And the valves here, and the fuel pump right there, and then the smoke pump will be right there. I don't think I'll be running a filter because it's fairly useless, because there won't be, the only way for dirt to go into that filter is if there's dirt inside of your fuel tank, and you would want to rinse out your fuel tank before, and I have a felt clunk on the fuel tank anyways, so there's no dirt going through there. So I won't be using a filter, because it's another way where bubbles can be trapped, and just another thing I could get rid of that doesn't really matter all too much, since I have a felt clunk in the bladder tank at the end of the day. So yeah, so I think the first thing to do here is to get those modules right there installed. So I guess let's get to doing that now. So guys, I got the front tray all installed, the pump. So thought about using the clamps, but I didn't, because the clamps I really don't like them, because this thing pivots around side to side a lot, and now it has a bit of play, but it can't really go anywhere. So it's just 2 keepers that are C8 heavily to the floor, so they really won't go anywhere, and then 2 zip ties. Then we've gotten our loop here, instead of the filter going like this, and our loop here, and there will be a smoke pump going on this side, sitting just like this one. It's going to be a power box smoke pump if we install smoke. I'm not clear yet, I don't know yet. So we won't put this inside because we don't need it, it's useless. So we'll just run this lead. I don't like this necessarily. I don't like the end that's on, because we can't hard mount it now, so it always has to like peek out somewhere pretty ugly, and I just don't like that, but it is what it is at the end of the day. So yeah, anyways, I've gotten my ECU mounted to the carbon board that will sit right down in its original spot right there. And I mean, I would have installed that still today and got everything connected and shoe-grouped. But I have to run a battery lead, and I don't have anything to solder up. I thought I might use this, but nah, that won't work all too well. I mean, theoretically, I can just open this up, the shrink tubing, and get... Yeah, I'll think about it. I also have to make up a lead for here, up front. I'll think about it. I don't know yet. I think I might use this, so we'll see anyway. So yeah, let's continue with all of that. So guys, I ended up using the power lead from the Electron, the old one, and I'll just add one here. I don't know if I'll wire it off, because I don't know if I'll run like maybe the Unilight system on 3S over this. No idea yet, but yeah, I've gotten extra resistors in the Unilight. I'm trying to have the least amount of batteries in there, so I'm aiming for like maybe 3 batteries. And yeah, so got everything done. I couldn't fit any shrink tubing or what is it called, snakeskin over here, so I tried my best hiding the other wire underneath this wire. You'll be able to see it a bit, but I think it will be alright. I hope you don't see it all too much, but it kind of is what it is at the end of the day. So yeah, anyways, we've gotten this done up. We've gotten our lead here. I've marked this with a black piece of shrink tubing, so I know it's the ECU. Gotten everything done, gotten this into a piece of shrink tubing for a nice and clean look. And yeah, this is the back side. Everything is nice and tidied up to it. And next thing to do is to get this into the fuselage. So let's get that done now. So guys, one last thing we have to do before getting the turbine mounted. So we're definitely getting smoke now, and I want to have the smoke tank so the main tank was always 2.5 liters, and that was way more than enough for 6 minutes, because this thing always with half throttle already was like a rocket ship and went vertically up with only half throttle, and it's just amazing. You can fly this thing with under half throttle the whole flight, and it would just do everything. So I only used up 2 liters every flight, and I had 500 liters to spare after 6 minutes. And yeah, but anyways, we are gonna have in total 3 liters of liquid on the plane in the end, like we used to have, just with a lighter tank. So I actually for a short period had this tank in as hopper tank, and that was the only period where the plane flew well. So this is actually the fuel tank of my slick. There's still a bit of diesel inside, but we're going to modify it. So I want to have it sit like this, because the bladder tank, the 2.5 liter, will be sitting up top here, and we can't have these interfering. So this is our original vent, and the way it works, it fills up and then comes out there. And if it sits like this, we're just gonna use our fill, or our fill valve here, or what is this? No, this is our, what is this? Whatever it is, what it used to be, but it has no meaning anymore, but I should know it. You can correct me in the comments, I don't mind. So we're going to use this as our breather valve, and this one will just be shut off. And basically, yeah, this will be our breather valve, and this thing will be inverted like this. And because that thing is our breather valve, we'll be able to make that work, because obviously, so you can see that is at the top now, and then the fuel will go through there, or the smoke fluid. So first thing I have to figure out is how to mount this. So my basic thing is the CG on this thing, I switched around with the CG a lot, and my preferred CG is like kind of right here, like right where the wheel ends. So I can't really show you right now. I'll show you later when the wings are out. But anyway, so CG is like basically right here. So this is opened wider because so I don't have to retract the gear whenever the wing connects. So I've shown that in a previous video, but that's wider than usual. But it's like right here, the CG point where I have it. So we're gonna have it right a little bit in front of the CG, and yeah, that's gonna be perfect like that. Or we could flip it around, but I just want to have enough space with the turbine back here. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to glue 2 plywood plates that will go across here, and that will just get screwed in with 4 screws, that thing. So let me get to marking something up, and let's get that done now. So guys, I got my 2 strips of plywood cut, so they will glue onto the tank, and then they'll screw into the side plates there, and they're nice and stiff. I can like really press down, they're hard, there's barely any flex going on, and those will be nice and stiff and will be more than enough to hold this. And I marked out, so I have to get these areas here sanded up now with the Dremel, and then we can get those glued with some 90-minute epoxy. So let's get that done now. So guys, got our bung made up. So I also clipped off our old vent fitting right there, so that just got heated over my heating gun and then cinched off with my pair of pliers back there. So we did our thing. I like using zip ties, it works great just on these tubings. I like you use double, or you can even put a piece of solder on there to make it extra tight, and then I've used these clips at either end that were supplied. So I mean, some people would say you wouldn't need a piece of tubing in the middle. I say I do, because it's not too small of a tank, and the tubing, it's Sullivan tubing. It's quite tough, but it's also fairly flexible. It's very thick, but it's very flexible, and it's just for safety that this thing can't bend back on itself. I mean, the smoke tank, it wouldn't be dramatic. I just do not want to have to get this out and on the middle of a flying day and unscrew this and do all of that. So yeah, that just prevents it from going back on itself. And yeah, so can get that reinstalled, and we could go ahead and add a fuel line to our vent down here. So we could do that, but we'll see. I think I'll order some see-through fuel line for that, because it just looks a lot better. So yeah, I mean, we'll get that screwed back in with a bit of silicone lube. And something I'll also do is I'll get a bit of shoe group. The one that I'm using is UPOR, installed on here, and it just seals everything up perfectly. Finally, it adheres fairly good, the one that I use, and diesel also doesn't eat it up with kerosene. So I don't know if your shoe group that you would use, I don't know if it would work, but mine does. So I use it just extra protection, so this can't end up swimming inside of the tank. So yeah, so let's get that all done up. I'll put some lubricant on the O-ring here, and that just helps it go better on there. So let's get that done now. So guys, I got the tank painted. So there's a strip of tape right here, so I can look inside of the tank. And yeah, it's gonna be underneath the main tank, the bladder tank anyways. So there you will be able to see through it as soon as it's empty, but you don't really need to see how full your smoke tank is. The only reason to look in there is to maybe see if everything inside is still holding up well and stuff like that. So you really don't have to be able to see into that thing properly. So yeah, anyways, I got some space, so I got everything clipped off with pieces like that. So that's good. And I got a little bit of spacer right on there, because the back side was there was just a bit of space between the two things, because this was hitting on the tube, on the carbon tube for the wings, and it's now lifted up and it's barely not touching. So yeah, that's good. We'll leave this dry for a good few hours, and then we can get into drilling out our holes for this, and this will probably be one of the last things we do this video. So next thing to do is get our holes drilled out. So guys, this is going to be the final position of this. So it's all lifted and everything, and this will work out just amazing. And yeah, happy with everything, the way everything worked out here. And I've gotten the support blocks, pushing them to here, just so I know exactly where this smoke tank will go back to, just like so. And yeah, so the bladder tank will be sitting right over here. So next thing to do is to get the turbine installed. I won't get this screw down yet because I still have to get a few things run in the back here. So for example, like so I think we'll get this installed right before we install the tank. So I think I'll make a startup tray like here so we have good access to all of this. Anyway, so yeah, I've gotten all of that basically done up. So next thing to do is getting the turbine installed back in there. So let's do that now. So guys, just getting started with the engine fitting, and this sits in here perfectly, just as it is currently. This sits in there perfectly, and it's, I don't know if you can see this, but I hope you can see it well, but it's perfectly centered in that thrust pipe. I don't think I can capture the turbine wheel properly, but it's perfectly centered. And anyways, I think we'll have to grind out some of those rails, because that back there, definitely no 3.5 centimeters. Definitely have to get some more clearance with that turbine. So we'll probably like get this sanded out until like here or something like that. So yeah, anyways, that's what that looks like. And this thing here is nearer to the turbine than I thought. So this will be like probably like 5 centimeters away as soon as the turbine's front. And then we have to get a bladder tank that's from like right here somewhere going up front. So yeah, that might be a bit of a challenge. So anyways, let's get that grinded out and continue with the turbine install. So guys, I actually just got some measurements done for our bladder tank, and these are going to be our dimensions here. So this is the side view, this is the top view, this is the carbon spar. So that carbon spar will be the main mount, and will probably be glued here, and we'll make a mount like somewhere here or there. I don't quite know. But anyways, I got it's the points marked. I don't know if you can see it with like a fairly thin mark or like pen, where I have to sand out to get the 4 centimeters or 3.5. I do 4, just a bit more security. So we'll get that dremeled out, and then we can get going on with the turbine installation. So let's get that done now. So guys, got all of that cut. Turbine fits beautifully. Got the turbine rails done up. So I need a bit of up spacing after I removed these, because these were kind of crappy. I need a bit of up spacing. So I got myself cut these plates here and just sprayed them gray, and they're currently got some CA in that holes. That doesn't matter. I can get the CA off the metal easily because it's not scuffed up, and the screws will just screw right out. And yeah, just got those holes up, got that painted gray, and got the brace on, and got those screws Loctite and on with washers. And I got some marks made where these wooden rails will sit at the end of the day, and everything's perfectly centered. So I think we're gonna call it quits in this video. I started doing a lot more detail in my videos. I don't know though if next video will be on time, because I mean it's now 2 weeks before the next video will come out. So I'm ending. So today is Wednesday. This Saturday the repainting will come out, and then this video will come out the next Saturday. And then after that one, the next one is that I'm going to start on today evening will come up. But I have to, for that one to be complete, I think we're going to complete tank install and stuff like that. And I still have to order some carbon boards. Have to get my tank figured out and everything from CM Jets. Probably going to get one custom made, a bladder tank from them. And yeah, so still have to send the email to Carlos with all my specifications that I showed you earlier. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And we're growing really fast at this moment. Currently, we're at 197 subscribers. I'm so happy about this. So yeah, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button. And I'll see you in the next one.